Welcome to Moon Harbor Heroes. Today's issue is Faces, issue 13, Parting the Clouds. On the cover, the Carl Fey Golem stands mid-page. Rider Typhon stands in the Golem's outstretched hand in full armor. Violet floats a bit over the Golem's other shoulder. Above them, we can see a monstrous, indistinct face pushing through the clouds. In the bottom right corner, we see a silver-embossed logo in bold letters, Blockade. We turn the page and our story begins. And we see HR's Terror and Reality portal open up and the chain wrap around Faye. Faye, you can return to your own body if you want at this point, or you can stay connected to Carl.
So the chain wrapped around me, but he got knocked backwards, so he no longer has a grip on the chain?
No, he still has a grip of the chain. It is going to tighten up here soon. You're going to get pulled through this portal if you don't do a thing.
Yeah, I've met HR before. So I'm going to show what I had prepped. I'm going to burn that hold. I did research about HR, and I found out whether or not the chain is connected to him by doing some research on the demon that he is, that is part of him, that is connected.
That he has the powers of, yeah.
Yeah. Did I learn that the chain is connected to him, or did I learn the chain is not connected to him?
It is connected.
Yeah, I thought so. So I'm going to grab the chain, and with both my physical strength and my telepathy, I'm just gonna yank him backwards and pull him through the portal to me.
Cool. Go ahead and roll to unleash your powers.
Great. 8 plus my freak, which is a 0. Right? Why is my freak a 0 right now? It's plus a 0 plus the 1 for prep for it, so that's a 9. If someone wanted to grab team, I wouldn't say no.
On the other side of this, I think Felix is in the position to most clearly see what's going on. Carl's next to you, but you're still seeing this terror where Carl was, and you're seeing Faye on the other side yanking on this chain. HR is on the ground but pulling back on it.
So the attack would have to be on HR for the team to be activated.
Yeah, I think Felix is probably the only one in the position to help. I don't think Carl sees it going on, and I imagine Violet is back behind the van, still doing the processing on the new power.
Okay.
I imagine that takes when combining two powers together would take you a couple seconds there, right?
Overload.
Yeah.
The fuck are you doing to me?
I'm gonna yell to Felix. I'm like, Felix, I need you. I'm not strong enough to do this.
So Felix was actually trying to. You're gonna see. I want a panel of the inner monologue of Felix, and he's gonna say something in the inner monologue of I didn't want to show that I had this power. And then the next panel is going to show basically a small sonic boom as he stands up and basically pushes himself off the ground into HR and basically throws HR through the portal.
Go spin the
again.
team.
He's not in costume still, by the way.
And that brings you up to a 10, Faye.
Great. So that's not unstable or temporary. It just happens.
Yep. So HR is yanked through the portal, and I think it snaps shut behind them. And we're going to cut back to Felix. When this portal snaps shut, we see Dark Rider running full speed at Felix. Fist pulled back to punch. Felix, what are you doing?
Well, Felix wasn't going to pull his trump card, but he's going to see this happening, and he's actually going to grab the buckler instead of his phone. He's going to drop the buckler and coin and grab the buckler, which now has his coin in it, and he's going to attempt to transform with it.
That sounds like a custom move to me.
Sure. I don't know how that'll work.
What label best represents your legacy?
Savior.
Okay, roll plus savior.
Okay.
That is undeniable. That is a 13.
Hell yeah.
On a hit?
Wow.
Tell me what happens when you put the coin in.
When I insert the coin into the buckler snaps shut around the coin, and where it was previously gold and blue, it's going to transform to completely gold. Will this include the transformation?
Yep. tell me what the transformation looks like, and tell me what powers you have.
As he transforms, his body, the armor flows over his body, but you notice that it's different. It's slimmer, it's sleeker, and it's like a massive aura is coming off of it. Instead of having divine armor, he's now gained the regeneration ability of. He gained the regeneration and phasing ability, losing divine armor and magic weaponry.
Combining from Hyun's powers.
Yes.
I like that.
So, as this goes over him, and what he's going to do then is he's going to let, he does the transformation right before Dark Riders goes to hit him, and he's going to attempt to phase, like his body will phase out to let Rider just go right through him.
Okay. So the other part of that move is on a 10+, you are immediately comfortable with your new power set. So this happens.
Awesome.
And we get a panel of Dark Rider like lunging with this punch and going straight through Rider. And as they're coming out the other side, it's Supai, and there's just shadows that dissipate on the side they went into Rider from. And they fall to the ground behind Rider. I think I have Carl spinning around, the two of you attending to that. In the background of this panel, we see the robed figures just taking up circles around the sigil, and they start chanting. Like the far right of that, we still see the two guards just dragging off Leo back towards the other vans. Let's jump to Carl. What do you want to do?
So the cultists are chanting, right?
Yeah, the robed ones are. There's cultist guards scattered about that are starting to kind of organize to this and group up and starting to head towards you from the edges of the beach.
I'm going to do the most evil thing that anybody has ever done.
Oh, God.
I'm going to attempt to sing along with the chants, but sing like just out of tune enough that it throws off everybody and the chant fails, whatever they're chanting for.
Ooh, okay. I like that. What does that look like on the panel? Like, where are you located? Are you heading over to the thing, to the sigil, or?
So I assume their positions around the sigil, and they start chanting just now, right? Yeah. I think. Faye's totally gone at this point, right?
Yes.
So I would just scatter and fly over to the beach. Like, I think there would be a panel where Carl notices, like in the background, you can see the chanting start, and then in the foreground, you see Carl noticing it, and then as he's noticing it, he already starts scattering. So it would be like this scattering form of Carl clearly looking and like, I'm gonna go there.
Okay, awesome. I want you to provoke someone.
Oh. A tree.
So
okay.
who are you targeting?
Trees with the +1.
So we get a panel. We get that panel, and then we get Carl chanting along, and then in like perfect unison, all of the robed figures like turn, so they're facing out of the circle, like towards Carl, and then one of them pulls their hood back, and it's a middle-aged woman. Let's go blonde hair, and then the face starts to morph and shift until it looks like Mary Louise Rogers. She looks up and gets a wicked smile and starts very quickly says a few arcane words, and we're going to cut the panel there over to Violet. And Violet, from where you are behind the van, generally the ruckus that was going on, but you see coming back past the van, not seeing you, the two guards dragging Leo. What do you do?
So the first thing I'm going to do is use my new power, Flaming Portals.
Okay.
When I use my Flaming Portal, what comes out is a Flame Elemental or a Flame Demon. It looks like the ground kind of opens up and almost in a fissure, and a fiery steam event opens up, and you see this creature kind of crawl out of it.
Where is that happening?
This is happening right in front of the 2 guards that are dragging Leo away.
Okay. So they jump back and they kind of drop Leo, and he seems conscious but very weak. He kind of falls down to his knees, but not flat on the ground. And they pull out guns and start firing at the elemental. What are you doing?
I'm going to use my other power, which is empathy control, which I nicked off Jerry, to kind of put them in a sleepy state. And and during that sleepy state, I want to try and grab Leo and fly off.
Cool, go and roll to defend.
There's no saving me on that one. That's a 5.
Okay, so I think we're gonna get the panel of you, you unleash your powers, their eyes start kind of getting droopy, and then you fly towards them, and I think we're gonna cut from there. And we are gonna jump back to Faye. Yeah, we have HR being pulled. We're gonna do a slight couple second time jump back. HR is just now being pulled through the portal onto your side. What are you doing? I think neither of you really have great footing right now.
He comes flying in through the portal, and as he's coming in, I use him to catch my own balance. So I'm essentially gonna balance myself on him and get really close to his face and say, "This is what you all wanted, right?" And then I'm gonna go full demon, just completely let my entire body transform into the demon, and then I just want to start physically mauling him.
Cool. Go ahead and roll to direct engage.
Danger. My danger is +1, so that's an 8.
Pick one.
I don't think I can create an opportunity for my allies. I think I want to take something from them.
What do you want to take?
I want to rip the chains out of his body. I did the research. I know how they're attached. I know that they are wired into his spine, and I want to rip them from him.
Yeah, we get the panels of you just ripping into him, and we get one of the chains just wrapping itself around your arm and just starting to burn into your flesh. And then I think you rear back and just rip that chain off his arm. He screams out.
Can I change that slightly?
What do you want to change?
When it's wrapped around my arm, I want to look down, and because I'm demon, I want to bite the chain and rear back and pull it out.
Totally cool with that. Love it. And he screams out in pain, which this is, I think, the very first time anyone, you at least, have seen him not be composed under any circumstance.
Right.
He was almost elegant even when he got knocked out. And he scrambles backward, swings his other arm back, and the chain rips a tear that he falls through, and it closes behind him. I want you to go ahead and roll to take a powerful blow, as the adrenaline kind of fades a bit, the searing pain across your arm of this chain.
Great. That's a 7. No one's close enough for me to lash out to. There is no more opposition to give ground to, so I'm going to mark 2 conditions.
I think that you could probably use your influence to cause a condition. I feel like you could either hit Carl or Felix with guilty by howling in pain from a distance.
Yeah, I think because Carl and I are so connected, he probably...
I think there's also an option that because you didn't warn me and just brought the demon out while we're going in and out of hive minds, that you would cause a serious backlash for Carl.
Yeah, I think actually that's what happens. I think that as I'm suddenly howling in pain, the demon takes over for a second, and you just hear this inhuman snarl in your mind, and I think for a second it just sends a blast of searing pain into you, and I think I want to provoke you to
You could just spend your influence to inflict a condition if you want to.
I think I want to try to provoke him. I want to try to provoke him to give up what he's currently doing and come help me because I'm in pain.
I'm okay with that.
So rolling to provoke. That's a 10. Carrot and stick.
Yeah, so I think we're going to follow the scene over to Carl.
Yeah, I'm just going to rush over. I'm going to, as I'm doing my thing near the sigil, suddenly something snaps in my brain and there's a loud scream Faye said. And immediately, almost instinctively, all of the insects form into a ball and storm towards Faye.
Excellent. So we get the panel of Myriad now?
This is the appearance of Myriad.
Okay. Yeah. Flying off the beach, and then one of the cloaked figures turns and just starts very slowly walking in the direction Carl went. And we get a panel of a close-up of the merry face saying, "Yes, lead me right to her." And we are going to cut over to Ryder. Supai is starting to pull themselves to their feet. What are you doing?
He wants to do two things. He wants to place a solid boot in Supai's side and push them away. And then he wants to go from there, and he wants to put himself between Mary and...
I think I'm going to have you roll to directly engage.
Okay. Now, I also want to make sure that this is... I am pulling my punches. I'm not trying to kill Supai. Just get them out of the way.
Cool.
So I'm fighting the good fight. So I can roll Savior instead. So
yes, you are fighting the good fight when you kick someone in the ribs.
It works. It works.
Perfect. That's a 12.
That's a hit. Yeah, that's a 12.
Pick
that's a hit. I'm going to resist or avoid their blows if they can retaliate. And I'm going to create an opportunity for my allies.
Okay. Do you have an idea for that? If you don't, I do.
I was going to when I kick them, I'm wanting them to go where I believe Violet is, near Violet. Because I am putting this squarely in Violet's hands at this point, and wanting to position myself from here between Mary and Faye.
Okay. So we get the panel where you step forward, kick. Supai tries to roll out of the way, but doesn't make it, and gets kicked a bit over. Starts kind of and just starts pulling themselves to their feet, and then from behind the van that Supai is next to, the two guards walk out. One holding Leo upright with a gun to his head, and one holding Estelle upright with a gun to her head. I'm gonna give you an opportunity out of that. I promise. Just trust me. And I think from here we're going to cut over to Carl and Faye.
Cool. So I think I get the chain unwrapped from my arm, and I'm just kind of collapsing. It's like searing my skin, right?
Yeah. You can get it off.
Yeah, I think I get it off, and I'm just like holding my arm, and I'm like, I think I'm welling up with tears, though it's less from pain and more from like, holy shit, I just ripped someone in half.
Oh yeah, you got a nice bit of blood on you.
I knew for a fact that chain was like in his spine, like woven into his bone. So I just like really, really harmed a person. Granted, the person is a demon, but also the person is a demon inhabiting a person. So
yeah, it's the same as you.
I mean, not quite the same as me. The demon is in full control there, but yeah.
And Carl, you arrive to this.
I think I just reach up and I grab Carl's hand, and I'm just like, I don't know if I can do this again. I don't know if I can do this.
As you reach out, because there's no hand, right? But as you reach out to find contact, there's just nothing there in terms of an emotional contact. Because I think it's important that we establish at this point, this is the first time that Faye actually sees Myriad. Because the previous 2 or 3 times that Myriad showed up was when you weren't there.
Right.
So this is like the perfect dramatic moment.
I love it.
Yeah. So this is the first time you see Myriad, and you notice that something is wrong. Like Carl is all scrunched up into a ball. There's no form. There's no like emotional connection either. And I think at this point I'm going to ignore what Faye's saying to me and just start kicking up a sandstorm. Like I wanna use the powers of the amulet maybe to just start kicking up a big sandstorm.
Okay, cool. And I think in the background of that panel, we see speech bubbles showing that the chanting at the sigil has restarted. Faye, what are you doing?
When I see that I'm not getting an emotional connection, I'm gonna like pull myself up, like gritting my teeth as I pull myself to my feet, and then I'm just gonna like walk past Carl down the hill, or walk past Myriad down the hill, which means I'm gonna run directly into Mary Louise.
Yeah, and I think we'll cut to that in a second. We're going to cut back over, and we've got a panel of, I assume, Ryder standing to face Supai and these guards and their hostages. Supai pulls themselves to their feet and just looks at Ryder and goes, "Why? Why do you want to taint the legacy like this? Why do you want to let that thing out?" Ryder, what do you do?
What are you talking about? Taint the legacy? What? Ryder looks over at the chanting and then looks back at Leo and Estelle and then looks at Supai and goes, "Where is Michael? What are you?"
Supai looks entirely confused and goes, "Who the hell's Michael?" And he turns and he points at Leo and goes, "You're following in his tradition, and he has to die or that beast gets out."
Ryder's actually speechless at this moment in time, but like his next move, he's speechless. Actually, no, he's not speechless. He looks and goes, "What? He has to die or that thing gets out?" No.
And I think at this point we hear a huge crack of lightning, and there's these clouds over top of the sigil, and you start seeing, "Hey, Ryder, I'm going to call on you to give me a on-the-spot description again."
Woohoo!
So a large face is pressing through the clouds. It's kind of like it's wrapped in like cellophane, so we're not seeing details. But what does the face of the All-Seer look like, peering down at you all?
It is multi-eyed, and it has like 7 or 8 eyes. It's kind of hard to tell. It's like a beholder, except all the eyes are on the face, and the mouth is like just dripping of some sort of nasty, angry acid-like thing in the clouds. That's what you see.
Oh, I love it. As it starts becoming more and more substantial, the panels are going to get progressively darker as it's blotting out what remains of the sun. Violet, what do you do? So I think we have like a tense standoff between Supai and Ryder, and / the distraction of this thing starting to appear, and the guard you can feel the guard loosen their grip a bit, and they're staring up into the sky.
I'm going to give him a swift kick in the balls, and then I'm going to summon a demon right behind Supai.
Cool. Go ahead and roll to directly engage.
They're not underestimating me, are they?
Yeah, actually, I think they are, because they're assuming you are not a threat whatsoever.
Oh, okay. So I get to roll with superior instead of danger.
Go. Was it the littlest space bandit or something?
Yeah, I got a 12.
Okay. So we get a panel where your foot just comes up, right? And I think this is a good time to get like a nice vanity shot of Violet's amazing aesthetic. What boots are you wearing right now?
I got knee-high combat boots with a 1-inch heel on the back.
Okay,
so,
excellent.
Nice little point in front. Yeah.
So we get that.
Feeling that.
We get that right in the crotch of the guard. And they stumble back, and then this portal rips up. And what options did you want?
So I'm gonna risk or avoid their blows, or resist or avoid their blows, just in case that gunman gets back up. And create an opportunity for my allies.
Okay, awesome. So yeah, this thing smashes into Supai's back, and I assume like you jump back a bit to get out of the way there.
Yeah.
Supai comes stumbling forward towards you, Ryder. What are you doing?
Ryder's actually ignoring Supai at this point because he thinks Violet's got it. He wants to, using his basic godly might, he wants to grab a van and throw it at the sigil.
Okay.
He wants to stop this ritual.
You grab the van, and we get this absolutely awesome panel, because I think this is the first time we've seen you just like straight up haul lift something. And you launch the van through the air. And as it flies towards the sigil, the one with Mary Louise Rogers' face raises her hand, and it just stops in midair and then slams into the ground. And we're going to cut from that. Like, we're going to get a close-up of Mary Louise Rogers' face. And the next panel is going to be a face in mid-transformation into Mary Louise Rogers. And then the next panel is zooming out, and it's Faye and Carl running into this woman with Mary Louise Rogers' face. Faye, what are you doing? Actually, let's start with Carl. Carl, what are you doing?
Carl would be higher up in the sky, and the visibility would be pretty low at this point because of the sandstorm I'm kicking up.
Okay.
And I think I'm just gonna scream from high up to Mary Louise. Is it right?
It has Mary Louise's face, but how tall is Mary Louise, Faye?
She's like 5'8", I think.
Okay. All of the figures are significantly taller than Mary Louise, but yeah, this one has her face.
I don't know who Mary Louise is.
Oh, okay.
She's the head of the cult. That's my nemesis.
Ah, gotcha. Okay. So, but I'm gonna fly at this figure, and I'm just gonna go. We don't want you near her, and then
You trying to attack her, or?
I think I wanna more provoke her into stepping away. I'm trying to keep people away from Faye.
Oh, so just trying to grab her attention, get her to focus on you.
I think I'm trying to scare her away, basically, threaten her.
Okay, so yeah, you fly around her trying to scare her, and she just continues the slow walk towards Faye, and just lifts her hand up, just completely ignoring you.
Okay, so then I just wanna. That was what I was expecting her to do.
You start hearing a quick utterance of when she says spells, they're quick and they're very competent, very perfectly pronounced, and she starts uttering some words.
I'm going to go amulet on her ass.
What are you doing?
I need to. Well,
I think you still have one burn.
Yeah, I'm just gonna reality storm with one burn. Which
okay. Tell me what it looks like.
Of course, that will end well. That's a 6.
Faye, you want to help?
I don't know if I can get that up too, but I can give 1.
You only need 1. 7 to 9 at least.
Oh yeah, you're right. Remind me what you're doing again. You're going all amulet. You said. Oh, reality storming.
Yeah. So in my case, that would probably involve a lot of fire. So it would just be a giant fire burst in this case, I think. I'm not very rational at this point.
It's essentially a directly engage, right?
Yeah, it's a directly engage. So it would be, and it's an amulet move, so it would be something to do with a lot of fire.
As the fire blasts out, I think it's kind of going all out of whack, kind of just flying in every which direction. I think I'm gonna telekinetically just pull it all together for him. Kind of how I pulled the water and manipulated the water in the first episode. I'm gonna pull the fire together and kind of channel it into essentially a solid column of fire that we're just gonna blast at this Mary Louise Rogers.
Awesome. And that pushes it up to a 7. So pick one.
I mean, I guess this wouldn't be a case where I can do the. I completely failed at threatening her, right?
Right. So yeah, she's just not susceptible to your words.
Yeah, so I'm going to create an opportunity for Faye. I'm going to just create all focus on me type situation, which gives Faye a few seconds to get something in.
All right, awesome. Actually, I have a perfect panel for that. So this blast of fire, all pushed into a focus beam, hits her, and she just stumbles back several steps. And we get this until this blast hits her, she's definitely been focused entirely on Faye and casting the spell. And as the blast hits her, she spins her hand and finishes this spell. And we just see large chunks of Carl's or Myriad's falling off as the insects just die and wither. Myriad, I want you to take a powerful blow.
God damn it. So I rolled an 8. So on a 7 to 9, choose one. Lash out verbally, give ground, or struggle past the pain and mark the conditions. I'm going to struggle past the pain and mark the conditions.
Okay, tell us what that looks like.
So suddenly pieces start falling off Carl, and this is a completely new sensation, because Carl is used to elements of the hive constantly living and dying, because these are insects, right? But this is a whole new ballpark. It's like large chunks of the hive mind are suddenly just disappearing, and it's very disorienting. But Carl is gonna persist with like putting forwards pressure to try and make an opening for Faye. But as more and more of the ants start falling off, he shrieks loudly in pain, but he keeps on pushing.
And we're gonna. Faye, what are you doing?
Great. So we get the panel of the smoke clearing. That like amazing shot of the smoke clearing. And as you do, the first thing we see are two huge pink eyes. And then we hear like through the smoke, we hear the crunch of the onomatopoeia of what sounds like very heavy footsteps strolling forward, like striding forward. And I'm using my moment of truth.
Okay. Go ahead and read your moment of truth.
The prickly tingling feeling of your doom always in your head. It holds you back most of the time, but right here, right now, it gives you the confidence to do anything. After all, what's the worst that can happen? Is it worse than your doom? Do impossible things, do anything, but mark a doom sign after you're finished.
What's it look like?
So the smoke clears, and the demon in all its glory is there. When the demon is fully formed in like full demon form, this demon is about 10 feet tall, 8 feet tall. This is a huge monster. So the smoke clears and this thing is just there. And the demon just blinks once, and Mary Louise Rogers, or that Mary Louise Rogers at least, just goes flying back into the sigil. The demon then leaps forward and just slashes a giant slash mark across the sigil, and just sends the like dirt or the sand just like flying in every direction. And then it looks up and it sees the all-seer as it's like coming through the clouds. The entire sigil, as the sand is flying through the air, the sand starts like forming into clumps, which are then like massively heated immediately, and they form into the stained glass that we have seen Faye use so often. So this sand like literally becomes this like interdimensional weapon, and then we just start flinging shards of glass into the all-seer. And these are like 4 feet tall by 3 feet wide shards of glass. This is not like small shards. This is not scratches. These are aiming to kill. And as the shards are flying, the demon is going to open its mouth and just send a blast of telekinetic energy just straight into the clouds to just tear them apart.
Awesome.
And then I think that we get the moment of the all-seer kind of dissipating. I don't know. Is the all-seer corporeal right now, or is it like
It is
still
not.
in the trap?
It is not corporeal.
Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna absolutely just rip this cloud to pieces, and then the demon is going to turn, and one by one just blink and lift each of the not Mary Louise Rogers into the air, so they're all floating around her. And then she's going to snarl, and it's this demonly voice, and she's going to say, "Where is the real Mary Louise Rogers?"
And I think the next panel is all of the Mary Louise Rogers faces fading away, and every single person you're holding just gasp and then go limp. And we're gonna cut back over to Ryder and Violet. Everyone there is just staring shocked. Supai is, I guess Supai is still kind of focused on this fire elemental. And you hear the vans on the farthest side of the beach, like the engines, turn on.
Where's Leo at?
The guard that was holding Leo is just running. Most of the guards across the beach are just trying to get out.
Does he still have Leo, or did he just drop him?
He dropped Leo. Yeah, sorry, he dropped Leo.
All right, I'll let Ryder start, since he was in the middle of doing something. Now he's gaping at the demon, but
actually, Leo is his entire Ryder is entirely focused on Supai, seeing that Leo is safe-ish. He's focusing on Supai, and basically, Supai is focusing on this elemental thing
Yep, if
Right.
it's still attacking them.
Stand down. You don't want to fight us anymore. The threat is over. Stand down.
Who's he
We gotta-
saying this to?
He's saying this to Supai.
Oh, good, because I don't think my elemental's gonna listen to you.
No, I ain't worried about the elemental.
Supai kind of like takes like a jump backwards away from the elemental and goes, okay, just stop that thing.
I'm gonna look back at Violet and go, that's up to her, not me. You tell me you're gonna stand down, and I'll stop hitting you.
Violet?
I just wave it on back and have it just sit next to me. And then I'm going to head over towards Leo and kind of pick him up and kind of drag him further away.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
it's
when
still kind of close to Ryder where he's at. So I can, stick him back on him just in case they have a change of heart.
Okay. And Leo, like I assume you pull like the hood off. Leo is kind of beaten up. He's not looking great. He's kind of fading in and out of consciousness, but he seems stable-ish.
He looks the same. I didn't really look at him before, so
He looks fine. He
looks happier than usual.
And we see the vans just flying out of the across the beach towards the access road. Does anyone else want to do anything here before we kind of calm down a bit?
I do. Are any of the guards, are any of the hooded people alive? Or are they all not alive, but awake, or do they all pass out?
All of the hooded people are straight up dead.
Oh.
They don't seem to have injury on them, except any that you all have caused, but they are just dead.
Phenomenal.
Man, you guys are violent.
Are there any other guards left over, or is everyone gone?
There could be.
Can we make sure there's one guard left over?
Yeah, absolutely.
Great. I want to walk over still in demon form, though the demon is getting smaller. And I want to get up right in the guard's face, and I want to say, tell Mary Louise that if she hurts my friends ever again, I will do far worse to her than I did to the All-Seer. Now run.
And he does. Leaving his gun and everything, just runs.
And then I want to turn back into human me. And I want to look for Ryder, but the first thing that I'm going to see is Supai. And I think we make eye contact right before I collapse.
Okay.
I think at this point, Myriad is going to very protectively hover over Faye and defend her from anything that would come.
Excellent. And Supai is just kind of looking around, confused and astonished, just realizing that they're completely alone now. And then they look up at the remnants of the clouds in the sky, and then they look at Ryder and just go, I think I had it wrong.
How far away is Supai from Faye?
A decent distance. They're not making any moves towards Faye at all. There have definitely been a couple glances. They've definitely recognized Faye.
Close enough to see each other in the eyes, or to notice each other's eyes, but far enough away where they're not going to be able to get there without a bit of a jog.
I was just seeing if it was less than, let's say, 10 meters, whatever that is in weird.
I didn't hear how many meters you said.
30-ish feet.
Yeah, something like that. If it was less than that, then Carl would definitely attack Supai at this point.
Nah, they're a decent bit away.
Yeah, that's fine.
Ryder? You got anything there?
Ryder is glaring at in the panel where Supai says that they may have got it wrong. Ryder is opposite them, just glaring. His helmet has dissipated, so it's just his face, and he is glaring. One thing to note is that his eyes are glowing in the same blue that the aura is around his body.
Ooh, I like that. And Supai is definitely hanging their head, just refusing to look you in the eyes. And they say, they told me that Leo and you were trying to bring this thing into the world. We had to use Leo's blood to stop it. I'm sorry.
Who told you that?
Dark Mark.
As you turn from the last page of the comic proper, there's a bit of an addendum. And we see Carl and Ryder on Ryder's motorcycle flying through the streets. And We get like 4 really heroic panels of you like whipping around corners, very reminiscent of the first Faces issue. And then we see a panel of you two standing at a gas station. So like as you go to pump the gas, you notice kind of in the distance, like near the street, so probably 30 feet away or so, the fire hydrant looks like there's this like orange mist coming off of it. I want to get like a close up on the two of you looking at the mist. Your tank is almost finished filling. The two of you looking at each other, the two of you looking back at the mist. And then the next page is a full page panel that says, "The blockade event begins now." It is a full screen overhead panel of the entire city. And we actually get like the other panels of the, we've seen the same, like the mist is rising up in like 6 or 7 comics now. And so we get each of those panels like bordering the side of it. And then a shot of the entire city. The entire city is just covered in this rust-colored mist. And then it says, "The blockade event begins now."
Moon Harbor Heroes is produced by Anthony Sheets and TP Huth, and edited by Anthony Sheets. Anthony can be found on Twitter at Icy New Year, or at icynewyear.com. T is the host of Incubator on Air, a new play podcast available on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, and Google Play. They can be found at T Huth Playwright on Twitter, or at TPHuth94 on Instagram. Faces is GM by me, Anthony Sheets. Carl is played by Simon Meskins. You can find him on Twitter as Jill Bareka. Faye is played by TP Huth. Ryder Typhon is played by Kaido Kane. Kaido is a Twitch personality and loves their 3 mischievous cats. You can find them at the Versian on Twitter, and as Kaido Kane on twitch.tv. Violet Starling is played by Zweifang. Our logo was designed by Beautiful Beasties. She can be found on Instagram at beastly.doodles or at patreon.com/beautifulbeasties. The music in this issue is Black Vortex by Kevin MacLeod. A link to his website and the license will be in the show notes. If you want to get a hold of us, email us at moonharborheroes@gmail.com or find us on Twitter at moonharborcast. If you enjoyed this issue, please leave us a review on iTunes and tell a friend. Word of mouth and 5-star reviews are really the best way for us to keep bringing these stories to more people. And thanks for helping us save the world. We'll see you next issue.